Greetings. Happy Sunday. This is Dr. Amona Washington for your week 3 feedback for Managerial 3310, Managerial Communication, Wayland Baptist University, VC01. Really great week. I want to thank you all for engaging. I am really impressed. I will say, some of you are still losing valuable points by not responding to at least one other class member per discussion question. Remember, you have 2 discussion questions and you must reply to at least one classmate per discussion question. Week 3 we talked about, or the discussion questions were surrounded around social media, and then IMing and texting. And the overarching theme is pretty much the same. Social media, IM texting has its advantages and disadvantages. Businesses are thriving by using social media in terms of within the organization, employees using these tools, and outside the organization with customers being able to use the tools and connect with the business. So overall, great job. I want to give some personal feedback. Heather, great resource you shared with the class. 2018 revenues expected over 15 billion. We just have to think about that. Businesses are expecting over $15 billion in revenue from social media. It is not going away. Kush, you mentioned that and I agree that we often forget the pleasantries when we are texting or IMing. For example, the good mornings, the good afternoons, the thank yous, may I have. Oftentimes I see in text, because it's short and it's quick, we kind of skip the pleasantries. And I think that is something that is business professionals and managers. It is never really okay to skip the pleasantries. Good morning, good afternoon, thank you, please. But we do that sometimes when we're using those quick methods of contact because we want a quick turnaround. So my advice is never forget the pleasantries. Mention driving while texting. Organizations have to be careful in terms of making sure that when you are driving that you are not texting for business, period. It's not a good practice for personal, for business. It's just not a good practice. Many states have laws requiring you to use a headset to avoid driving while distracted. And I totally support those. Lauren, Teresa, and Henry, you guys shared a great summary of the best practices. Thank you for that. Jacob, I agree. Jacob talked about sometimes in texting, the line of professionalism and casual can become blurred. Texting, IMing, because it's informal, sometimes the line can be blurred. Always remember to keep it professional. Marsha, you mentioned netiquette. Really important. We pretty much know when we are email. I think most business people understand netiquette, certain things. I have a pet peeve, all caps. texting, IMing, like I said, it's definitely an email, but we don't see that as often. We talk about the all caps. It's yelling. It amazes me that people still don't know that. Many of you mentioned some overarching things. Not using texting or IMing when a message needs clarity or specific instructions. Have you ever received a 6 out of 6 text message? I'm thinking to myself, 6 out of 6? That needs to be an email or a phone call. I was reading this article. Facebook recently announced that they are going in a different direction. And the focus is to help people, give people the power to build communities. Zuckerman is looking to build communities and keep people connected. When you think about the Facebook groups, he has a target, and I can't remember what the number is, but to build a target number of meaningful Facebook groups. I think that is a great idea. And we know that businesses use the Facebook groups as well. Heather, excellent example of how your company used social media for that project. Excellent example. Marcus, I laughed so hard when I read the tweet that was hacked, McDonald's Twitter account that was hacked, and it said some nice things about President Trump. By the way, you have very tiny hands. I thought that was so funny. I know, just thinking about it, yeah, I thought that was very funny. So that brings what we talked about, what many of you mentioned in the discussion board, security risk. We have to remember there will always be security risk. I think last thing, overarching thing, spelling and grammar. Have to be careful of the texting talk, how we spell words phonetically or shorten the words. In the business realm, we need to make sure that we are not doing that. We need to, it goes along the lines of professional, casual spelling, grammar. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you for the feedback. I too am enjoying the opportunity to use this modality to speak to you. I'm glad that many of you are saying that it makes you feel more connected. And as I mention your names and you hear each other's names and you see each other's names, hopefully that will allow us all to feel more connected. I'm almost caught up. That was week 3. I will probably do week 4 midweek, so then I will catch up for week 5. Week 5, you just have one discussion question, and you have to respond to one student only for the 10 points. So this gives you all the opportunity to catch up. Hope you have a wonderful Sunday. This is Dr. Amona Washington for Management 3310 at Wayland Baptist University. Thanks. Bye.